Good afternoon, friends. Look who's here. We have Celtic Tarot Sheila in the house. I am so honored that you're here. Longtime fan. So appreciate your time and coming to visit us. So thank you so very much. How are you doing?
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoy being invited on other people's channels. I think it's an honor for anybody to be invited to somebody else's channel. So I thank you very, very much. And so, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready.
So, when we were just backstage for a moment, I said to Sheila, is it Celtic Sheila or is it Celtic Sheila? And it is Celtic Sheila.
Yes.
For all of those people that might mispronounce it. So I want to say hi to all of the people rolling into the chat. Thank you, my friends, for being here. It means a great deal to me that you support, each of us and all of us, because there are so many of us, and we have wonderful readers and channel hosts and content creators also in the chat. Ron Unconditional Love is in the house. Geek Hillbilly is here. Ivana Intuitive, Genie, Anna Banana. We have Kelmar, my husband. We have Pierre White. And we have Ivana Intuitive and Swampy63. So thank everyone for rolling in. We appreciate your love. Constance L., thank you for being here, my friend. This is the wonderful and fantastic Celtic Tarot Sheila, which honestly, I will be calm. I promise. I will try to stop fangirling out and be a good host. So just give me a minute, folks. So I met Sheila about a year ago through watching Danny Shea and a collaboration between Danny Shea, Lori from the Way of Positive Change, and Sheila. And it's sort of like a little bucket list that I've had to get to know each of you. And I've had the distinct honor of reading with Danny Shea on my collaborative channel with Ali from Heart and Soul Connected, as well as Lori reading there as well. And so now here you are. And I feel like if I accomplish nothing else on my channel, this is just a really, really good moment for me. Honestly, I feel like it's my birthday. So thank you so much. Yes, I understand that Geek Hillbilly, and I do apologize. I know my microphone's all weird. I've tried messing with the settings, and the most important thing is that, we can hear Sheila. That's the most important thing. So try to bear with me, friends. I do apologize. Sheila's link is in the description box below the video. If you're not familiar with Sheila's channel, please do show her some love. She is, as I said to her backstage, she is this, in my opinion, this compassionate, passionate, fiery, warm energy, and I just love her to bits. So I do encourage you to check her out. So as we do with all of our first-time guests, we ask a few little questions, just some icebreakers, so we can get to know our guest in a way that we might not otherwise know her. So, are you ready, Sheila?
I'm ready.
Okay. What are 3 things, Sheila, that you must have on you at all times, or carry in your purse or something?
First is chapstick. I live in Colorado. It's extremely dry. Chapstick, and some more chapstick. I have it everywhere. The second is I have, of course, because of being and living in Colorado, I always have moisturizer for my face, like a mist of some sort. I have that also on me at all times. And I guess the third thing would be, what would the third? Oh, a nail file. I have eggshell nails, and
Yes.
so one will break constantly. And it drives me absolutely batty if I don't have a fingernail file or something to take care of that. So that's one of the 3 things that I just have with me everywhere.
I love that. See, I
Every
mean,
spot.
it's just fascinating finding these things out about people. I think. All right, here's the second question: is there a food or like a particular meal that when you either smell it cooking or when you sit down to eat it, that takes you back to a memory, like a really, really cherished memory, some moment in time?
Wow. You know, I guess it would have to be like pot pie, to be honest with you.
Oh, I love chicken pot pie. It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Now, I'm not a huge meat eater. I have to eat meat because my health wise, but when so I just always want to put that out there that I'm not like, I'm choosy about my meat. But there's a pot pie will always take me back to just being that child where, nobody's at home, everybody's still working, and I get to pop a pot pie in the oven for
I
myself,
love that.
I
Well,
don't have
it's
to
like
share it with
comfort food,
anybody.
right? It makes you
Yeah.
feel really just like warm and cozy inside. Okay, that's an excellent answer, by the way. My husband says Colorado has the best hockey team. Yeah,
Oh, do they? Do they?
yeah.
Yeah.
According to my husband. What is he? All right. So, question number 3: would you say that you are an organized person, a disorganized person, or like an organized chaos kind of person?
I have a bad case of ADD.
Okay.
I can't get over it, and I love things to be organized. However, my organization, everything has to be out on the surface so I don't forget that I have it.
Gotcha.
So it frustrates me. I was just doing, that deep down cleaning for visitor cleaning.
Right.
And I want to look organized, more organized, more organized. And I get really upset and emotional about how
Yeah.
I can't remember if I have this tool or have this thing or have that because it's not out in the front, and it's really frustrating for a person that has ADD or
Right.
whatever it's called to remember if they have it or remember where they put it or even to go look for it. It's
Right.
it's an emotional, painful situation for us, and I get really upset about that. But so I guess my thing is I'm a clean person,
Right.
hands down. Don't come into my house dirty. I will spray you off. It's truth.
Yeah,
But I do have clusters of items that I need out and about where I can see them all the time so that I can use them and utilize them, if that makes any sense.
that makes total sense. And Marie is in the chat. Hi, Marie. Marie says her AD hinders her also. Um, and when you were talking about that, I thought, you know, my mom used to de-stress by going out to like the junk drawer in the kitchen on a Saturday morning, and she would literally spend hours pulling everything out, tossing, merging, purging, whatever. Um, when you would open up the cupboards, like the linen cupboard, for example, all the towels were folded exactly the same way. And gosh darn it, don't you put that towel in there the wrong way, because you were going to be called to the closet to fix your mistake. So that's interesting that causes you emotional distress because it upsets you. Where is it? Why can't I find it? Because things are like out of place and out of order. And my mom was the opposite way in terms of that's how she de-stressed, but was by organizing. So the key to that, folks, is to try to stay as organized as possible. And so, do you think to that point that if you, like for me, I have anxiety panic disorder, and so for me routine is very important. Like I must put my keys in the same spot every day, my purse has to go in the same spot, etc., because just like you, I get stressed out, I panic if I can't find something. So as I go through my day, I try to put everything in the exact spot so that I don't have to like think about it. I just go there and that's where I find it.
I have a little bit of that. My keys in my purse and my items that are incredibly important for survival all have their own spot. So yeah, I have a little bit of that.
Yeah, like my husband, just to the point that I'm making, my husband, honestly, when we first got married, I thought, what in the bejeebers is happening to you? Are you okay? Because he literally would leave the house, and at least twice a week he would have to come back because he'd forgotten something. And I'm like, I have never had to come back. I take, you know what I mean? Because I'm organized, or at least that's what I thought it was. And then I find out that I have anxiety, and I'm like, well, you know, I just do
Well,
it.
I tell you what happens with me. Like when I go on a trip, people can like the 24 hours beforehand pack. I am not one of those.
No,
I
no,
know
no.
if I know I'm going on a trip, I will start at least a month in advance. If not organizing in my mind, if not purchasing things that I need to purchase,
Right.
setting aside the things I need and I want to take. And I tell you what, I very rarely ever leave the house without the items that I wanted because I was the preparation of that was excessive in my mind. I don't tell people these things. These are secrets. Don't tell anybody. But this is the truth, you know. I very rarely, and then if I ever by chance ever do that, I get down to a tailored amount of things. Like I will buy it if I have to because I will need it, and I know that once I get there. Oh well, I'll just go get it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Jeannie makes a good point. She said, that's me. Cleaning diffuses my anger and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
My therapist told me many years ago that uh, like clutter out in the house or whatever is like clutter in my mind. And so I will go like fix a shelf or something and try to get that back into
True.
order because it makes my mind feel cleaner, right? Don't leave stuff. I mean, don't look at the backdrop, folks. Please don't do that. Remember, this is a cat's room. But you know, stuff all over the place makes me go cray cray.
Mm-hmm.
Marie says that she still walks back in the house one time to get something. So that's interesting. Okay, so hopefully we just gave you all some tips about how to stay organized. Uh, Question number 4. This one I promise is a little easier. Fashion trend that you miss and you wish that they would bring back.
Oh, you know, I loved leg warmers. Do you
Everybody says
remember? Do you
warmers.
remember leg warmers back in the day with it was at Fame, that movie Fame
Mm-hmm.
came around and everybody started wearing, you know why I loved leg warmers is because when I was a child, of course, you grew out of your pants and so you would have high waters. With leg warmers, you could wear them pants forever.
Oh my god, that's the best answer ever. I love it.
Oh yeah, and then you could the cute little tennis shoes. Oh my gosh, I loved leg warmers.
That's the best answer ever. Um, so, funny little note to the mention of Fame. The fashion trend I would bring back is you remember slope socks? And everyone had
What?
those. They're like big, thick socks that like went down your ankle. And they were all like bunchy, and it was usually like really colorful and
Oh, those
fun.
were leg warmers. We called them
Well,
leg warmers.
they weren't. I mean, they could have been leg warmers, but they were called slope socks here, and I was all about the slope socks. And there was a particular time in the '80s when you were like, you matched your scrunchie to like the color of your socks and like your belt or something. I was all that, which is insane, but that's who I was. But speaking
Yeah.
of the movie Fame, I share this story often because it's just the coolest moment of my life. I went on a trip to California with my father, and we happened to drive into the parking lot trying to figure out where we were going to go for dinner when they were doing the first annual American Music Video Award show at the Santa Monica Theater or Arena or whatever it is. And then they were going across the street to the after party. And we got in there, believe it or not, and we were on the bowling alley floor with Billy Huffsey, Nia Peoples, and I cannot remember the actor who played Jesse, but the three of them were there. I was 18, like literally, I could barely breathe. It was so exciting to me, and my dad ran out of film,
Of course.
and I was like, "We hate you. I mean, this is the worst experience ever, Dad." And he was like, "I think you're gonna make it."
Oh
Funny
yeah.
how film he ran out of film because he took a picture with David Lee Roth. And so, that was supposed to be okay with us. I didn't care about that. But anyway, that's my story. All right. Last question, Sheila. Where's your happy place?
My happy place is sitting by a river with my feet in the river, with water, with the outdoors. Anything to do with nature, really. I could hug a tree and just sit there for quite some time, just feeling the energy of the tree. Yeah.
My happy place is outside as
well. But my dogs need to be there with me though.
And you have 3.
I have a few dogs.
I know about Otis.
Yeah, Otis, Panda, Raven. Lily's my senior citizen. She's about, and then I have another one that showed up, Bailey. So yeah, I have a few dogs.
I love that. So if you happen to be in Colorado and you buy a stream and you see a bunch of dogs, it might be Sheila.
That's probably me.
So, as I said in the beginning, this is Celtic Tarot Sheila. She is a fabulous person. She's a fabulous reader. Please do go show her some love. If you're not already supporting her channel, subscriptions are free. And I encourage you to do that for all the readers that are here today. We have lots of people in the chat, many readers in the chat. So share the love, everybody. Subscriptions are free. So Sheila's here to talk to us today about remote viewing. And
I have to answer Marie Hansen. Bailey is Pilar. Pilar is Bailey. Yes, it's the same. So they've been following the little stories with my dog, so I had to answer that.
Oh,
but go
sweet. Ahead. I love it. So can you just give us like a brief sort of like, not a definition, but like, what is remote viewing to you? If I was to say remote viewing, what does that mean?
Okay. So remote viewing as an original thought was somebody who was sitting there who could then take themselves to real-time event and take them to that place as if they were hovering in and watching, right?
Yeah.
I don't do that. What I do, and it can be considered maybe psychic viewing, it could be considered reading the Akashic records. However you want to place that in there, the best description has been to me was remote viewing. That, like, a lot of people understood that I could sit here and go somewhere and watch.
Right.
So that's pretty much what it is for me. When I take a deep breath, I close my eyes and I'm whoosh, like milliseconds. I am there and I'm watching like what we call like a movie, maybe scenes, pictures, I don't really know, of what it is that spirit is telling me. And I just watch the story. I try to explain what I'm seeing. And a lot of it always has to do with maybe a spiritual leaning explanation of what's going on with either that person or situation. So that's what I do. That's what happens to me. I didn't know really that I was doing this for quite some time. I used to get hijacked. I'd be in the grocery store and all of a sudden I would just see this scene. And I'm like, and I'm in it and then I'm out. And I was like, wow, what was that?
That must have been kind of like freaky and slightly scary.
It was, but it was freaky when I told somebody what was happening because they were like, oh. But for me, it was normal because I would been kind of doing that all of my life. That's what's been happening with me.
I was just going to ask.
I could be next to somebody in a line, and all of a sudden I get a download of their life just by standing next to them, and like things I don't want to know, right? But knew who they were by that downloads of that information and that energy while I was sitting next to somebody. I remember several times when I'm in a group of people and before they would even speak, I would get what they were going to say. It was this download, and I would say it out loud. And a lot of times I played with them because that's how I did back in the day. And I would get that, and I would say it out loud before they did. And they would, every time, oh, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, I know.
That must have been a treat for I don't know if you have any siblings.
It was a treat. Well, there's people who are not open. Right. There are people that are incredibly open. They don't even know that they're open. Those are the easiest ones to sit there and do that with often. I could hear it. I know what they're saying. I can, like, it's almost like being connected to their thoughts, which scares them.
Right.
But that's exactly what it is for me.
What was the name of that movie that Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt were in? Something that, so he like bumped his head and was able to like read women's thoughts specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. And of course, if you use it for good, then it worked out for him. But when he used it for bad, to sort of, get ahead of the game or whatever, or to manipulate a situation to, be more to his way of thinking or his, for his benefit, it didn't go so well for him.
No, that's with everything in life.
Of course. So it's you've had this all of your life. And when do you feel that you sort of stepped into it with an understanding of what it actually was that you were able to do? Is it like a continuous sort of development over your lifetime that you have done, or did you know at a certain point, like, oh wow, this is what this is, and now I can do this?
Right. So a lot of it was prior to me coming onto YouTube. I would watch people like Dave Johnson. I would watch people like Cash Peters. I would watch, Whimsy from Whimsy Tarot and things like that. And then when they were describing, or I would watch them, I'm like, I can do that. I do that, right?
Right.
But I didn't have the confidence to come out right off the bat onto YouTube being, to do that. And there was where I lacked, was a little bit of the confidence that I'm seeing what they're doing. I know that I can do it. I've done it, been there, done that, But so I come out with my tarot cards because I know that I can use my tarot cards to also tap into that, right? That intuitiveness and get a little base going on. And then there was this one time with Whimsy where I told her what was happening, and she says, yeah, that's what's happening to you. And I finally just said, Sheila, just be brave. And so one day on my channel, I got on it, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to try something. Right?
Yeah.
And I had no prior expectations of anything, happening, because I did a video on it, and I had no prior, like, how am I going to do this? How is it going to look like, or anything like that? I just opened it up, asked the question to the universe, took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and out it came. And I then had to really, truly get into one thing that a lot of people have the hardest time doing: trusting.
Yes.
Trusting that information is what you are being told. And so it just kind of took off from there. Now, not every time I can do this, just to let you know, I can't, like, on a whim, on a dime. This is a lot of time as I'm walking through life. I'm like, ooh, I feel it close. I don't know if it's the moon. I don't know if it's the energy. I don't know if I've been asking questions, because I'm always asking questions to the universe. That is always a communication. And then all of a sudden the energy.
I just thought that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just think that's really, that's such a powerful point that you just made. To be in constant communication with spirit, with the universe, to request the information, to ask for more information, to ask for clarity.
Always.
That's amazing. That's a super phenomenal tip. I love that.
Yeah. Always in constant. You told me that I can always be connected, and I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do.
That's beautiful. I love that. So Anna Banana has asked, how can you be sure you are tapping into the correct energy when you are at a distance?
That's the where trust really comes in, but it comes in through a way that it feels like love. That's the only thing I can describe it as. When I'm getting this, it's easy. I can see it. I know it. I understand it. That's an incredibly important aspect of the whole thing, is I understand what's coming through. And it
Right.
always comes through the feeling of love. It never comes through the feeling of stress, anger, or anything else. If you're getting information about through those channels, I would say not it. So
Right.
it's just knowing one thing is to sit and know where your connection with spirit is and how it feels and how it affects you. Then you know that channel is open. But it truly is inner work. You can't, I always say this a lot too, you cannot do this if you're, out on the street lying and cheating and doing, doing drug deals and then come in and want to do spirit. You can't, it's not going to happen.
Right.
You have to clear yourself out. Be the channel that love can come through. Spirit is there for the good. If you're not for the good, it's not really, that's why it doesn't work out for a lot of people. Right. And they get and the information and the channel gets junked up. It stops working for them.
Yeah. It just on a personal note to that point, and most of the people that are here, subscribe to me, so they know my story. So just very quickly to that point, and to make that point, because I try to remember to, say this as often as it seems necessary. So I want to add this. I was broken. There's really no other way to put it, and I did not accept that I had any part in my brokenness, right? I viewed it as, this was done to me. But circumstances, situations, this is what happened to me. I had nothing to do with it. And when I'm slightly ashamed that when I came to this community, so 9 and a bit years ago, it took me before I started to receive the information and the love and the support from within this community. And I don't know, maybe I was just in a better place. Maybe my hearing and my listening skills had improved to a certain level that I was taking in the information that I was getting. But I received the information, and one of the things that kept being, said, where I went was, you must be grateful. You must be grateful. You must come from that place of love. And I was like, oh, I'm grateful. And then I was like, but no, I'm not. And I'm ashamed to admit that I wasn't grateful. I wasn't a grateful person. I was grateful, my family, and I'm grateful for my home, and I'm grateful, but I wasn't grateful. Because it was like, this happened to me, and now my life is like never been the same since, kind of idea. And the more I stayed with this community, and the more I listened to the different places that I went, the different rooms, the different questions, the different information, different support that I got, I reached a new level of understanding of what grateful means, and to open up your heart. And
we cannot be grateful until we purge the anger and the
Exactly.
and the distrust. Okay, so it's almost like you're punishing yourself for walking through each and every one of the steps. That's not the way we should do it.
No,
a step is a step is a step is a step. If we start off being angry, fine, get to anger. If we start off being revengeful, then fine, think about revenge for a little while. Don't stay there long. It's not nice. But you know what I mean? Each step is a step is a step is a step until we get to the grateful part. And the grateful part is not that it happened to me. The grateful part is that I'm healing from it. There's nothing else to say.
Exactly.
It's the healing is coming. The gratitude is there for that. We all have had things done to us
Yes,
around
exactly.
us, about us, whatever, that had nothing to do with us.
Absolutely.
We
I
could be,
was
we are not victims.
no, 100%.
You know what I mean?
So I had this amazing opportunity of tuning in to a show where Scott Allen was on with Ali from Heart and Soul Connected, and they got to a particular part in the show, and they were talking about somebody had asked a question before, and forgiveness and grief kind of came in, and so because of the love and the support in this community and the support that I had received prior to that, I felt brave enough and safe enough to ask a question in the chat, which I'm sure other people must have went like, wow. I just said, how do you forgive?
Right.
I've been trying for 9.5 years, and I just need someone to tell me how. And he spent probably 10, 12 minutes. I felt like he was talking just to me, like I had Scott Allen all to myself. And based on what he said, um, I then had a forgiveness ceremony live on my channel. That's when I started my channel. Just a couple weeks before that, I went out in my backyard. In November in Canada is not warm, folks. So I went and sat in my backyard. I lit the fire. I did it live because I honestly didn't think that I could go through it without the support of the people in the chat. And they gave me such strength. And so, anyways, I had this forgiveness ceremony, and oh my God, it was an amazing experience because instantly I felt like a little piece fall off. And I was like, oh, the peace. I felt the peace come back to my heart. And I was like, that's what it is. That's the love that they keep talking about. And so I have total goosebumps right now. Ever since that moment, it's like, okay, what else can I do? How else can I get rid of whatever baggage I'm carrying and bring in more and bring in more, because it's such an amazing feeling. And so now, I try to celebrate any kind of healing achievement, any kind of healing release that I experience, and having this channel and watching the people in the chat. If I see someone like opening up or blossoming, as I like to call it, um, that is the thing that I'm most grateful for. That is the thing that I feel the most love for, because that moment is so beautiful. And so, to your point, holy long tangent I just went on there, sorry folks, but to your point about doing it from a place of love, I completely understand what you mean. It is so important once you come to that realization, if you just open yourself up to it, right? It's just
Right.
beautiful.
And I have a different outlook on forgiveness. And I'm not giving a perpetrator anything.
Right.
Right. That was why I'm like, I'm not giving them another ounce, another moment, another thought. I'm not giving them anything. And I think forgiveness is tailored wrong. I
Yeah.
think when we are talking about a quote unquote Bible theory of forgiveness, it truly is our healingness is
Right.
what separates us from that pain. And I truly think that when we, and this is just another way of looking at it, we took back our power
Yes.
because they no longer have access to our power. They do not deserve it. They shall not ever have it again because I have that choice and I have that decision.
I
So
love that.
when I do that, I then bring back healing for me.
Yes.
They get nothing
Right.
from me
That's beautiful.
or about me ever again. And
Well
this
said.
is one of the things that I think that we misinterpret forgiveness. That's the reason why a lot of people are so resistant, because it's almost like saying we have to give the person that did it
Yes.
something else
Yes.
out of me. I won't do it. And I don't teach that at all. I teach them to retrieve their power, bring it back to your circle, to your love, to your way of belief, and heal that energy that was so long being abused by somebody else. Done, over with. No more discussions, no more, they have no more ability to do anything to you. And I think a lot of that has to do with also a healing thing, as we talk about that. That's been my experience.
Okay. I just want to say that, my friends, is why she is so amazing. That was so powerful and so well said, so well put. I don't know about anyone in the chat, but I have tears in my eyes. Like I felt that. Thank you. That was really powerful. I love that. Just beautiful, 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 beautiful. So many comments in the chat. I'm going to stick this one up on the screen because I missed it. I do apologize. I want to thank you, my friend. So, does the channel get clouded if you remote view on someone who is a low vibration, and how do you protect yourself in that case?
I do not get clouded. And this is the reason why, is because I don't trust in that person with it is low vibration to give me the information. I trust the source to give me that information. So my reliance is in the higher vibration automatically. And that higher vibration will give me the information that I'm asking for and explain their low vibration. A lot of people think that I'm going into the cloud of muck, and I am not. I am like hovering over and listening to Spirit's message about what is going on in the situation. So I guess in essence, in a wrap up of that is, don't put your reliance on the low vibration person to give you anything. Rely on your source to give it to you. That's where you stay.
Right. Well put. I'm going sort of back and forth, and I have to put this comment up on the screen. Rhonda Cox says, I feel that way, Sheila. I said, F him.
Correct. Absolutely. I think writing a letter is and using all adjectives of all of our cuss word range is appropriate at all times. And then you say it, you do it, and you burn it and be done with it.
Yes. Yep. Beautiful. There, and that conversation that we just had, so many people are sharing such wonderful things in the chat. I love it when this happens, because you can't make this up. It's beautiful, it's powerful, and it's just a lovely, lovely, lovely moment. Anna says, Sheila, how do you constantly portray a positive attitude with all the BS you have to read on? Asking because unlike many other readers, you display authenticity rather than how do you pronounce that word? High vibration. Oh, a pseudo high vibration.
Wow, that's a very important question. I truly believe in the good of what Source has for us, and I've placed my belief system in that logic, in that theory, in that atmosphere. So the positive attitude that comes through is there's always something. I guess the best way of putting it is God, Spirit, whatever you believe in, Creator, makes good stuff out of the yucky stuff.
Right.
And at some point in time, Spirit is going to show me the avenue to that. And I think that may be the best explanation of the, I don't know if I call it a positive attitude. I just try to read the information as high vibrating as I can.
Right.
Stay high, get out of the low, So I think that's what it is they see me read the highest vibration of information that I possibly can in each situation.
I love that. We have so many wonderful things going on in the chat. People talking about their other things that they do, and other people saying, thank you, this is a wonderful learning experience.
That's awesome.
How very helpful what you're saying is. I did not anticipate that remote viewing would be a learning experience in the way that it's being received, and so that's like a double bonus. That's wonderful. And so, Sheila, so you've explained to us, how it came to be that you've done this pretty much your whole life. You've had this ability, and does it? Sorry, my cat literally just threw himself at the window. I'm not sure why, but I heard the clonk. I hope nobody else heard that. Hopefully the cat is okay. Are you all right, sweetheart? probably chasing a bug. I apologize. And so Sheila, when you do the remote viewing, you said like you can't like call it in on demand. And so is there a particular thing that you do to prepare yourself to do like a remote viewing, like an intentional remote viewing? Is there like a prayer or sort of like a ritual that you would practice before you do that to get yourself in that right headspace?
There's one thing that I've learned about spirit is spirit does not need a ritual to connect. That's one thing that's very, very clear. However, a lot of people have rituals to help them move towards spirit, right?
Right.
So I am, like I said, that communication is constant and always there. And so when that communication, when I feel the communication coming as strong as it is, I know that I need to get into a position so that I can either do a remote view or listen or something along that line. So if there is ever a ritual, it is finding a place in my life where I can sit and be quiet and listen, I guess, is the best explanation for that. Yeah, I mean, I can sit at any point in time quietly and all that and ask for the question and get an answer. That's never really the problem. It is literally just getting into it's hard to explain. I think somebody I'm trying to say is that keep yourself in the upright position in order to understand spirit.
Right.
Keep yourself there. And once you keep yourself there, it's easy to stay there.
That's a great point. So does anyone else have in the chat, and the questions have been great, does anyone else have another question for Sheila about, remote viewing? And while you're all thinking about that, I do want to mention something else. I mean, I think that pretty much everything that you do is phenomenal. By the way, Sheila just did put out a video this morning. I got the notification. I can't believe that you put out a video. You're here, and gosh knows what else you're doing. I mean, it is Sunday, so like, what a busy lady you are, and I thank you kindly for being here. So,
well, let me be very transparent. You see, I don't always look like this, honey. So when I do dress up, fix my hair, and put a little makeup on, I use it to my
right. I'm all about it, my friend. I'm all about it. It's like, okay, it's like, when you leave the hairdresser and you're like, okay, I should do something.
Exactly. What can I do?
I don't always look like this.
So I just, yeah.
I love it. Jeannie says, is there any place you won't go with the remote viewing? Like, is there anything that you sort of draw the line at?
Well, there was a time, I don't draw lines. I allow spirit to draw me the line, if that makes better sense. I listen to what spirit, where it places. There was one time I was doing a remote view on Putin, and I was in there and I was talking and I was watching and doing this, and all of a sudden he put his hand over my mouth. And it clued me in. Number one, we don't like to think about it, but there are those dark angels out there, and he's one of those dark ones. Right. But he does have abilities like we do. He just uses them for evil. And he knew I was there, it felt like. I can't promise you that. I mean, but that's exactly what it felt like. But once I was there, he placed, and he like, and that was one time I come up and out of that. That was weird, and I've experienced that. I've also experienced, who was it that I was doing a remote view on? It was somebody else I was doing a remote view on, and I am like there watching this, and then all of a sudden they literally turned and looked at me. Ooh. And I looked back at them, and I thought, that's a little close, right? Yeah. Are you remote viewing me now? Because I'm out. You know what I mean?
Remote viewing standoff.
But I never feel unprotected.
Right.
Ever.
by the way, everyone in the chat is talking about your hair and how you have the best hair.
Oh,
So Kathleen, J Light Workers in House. Hello, Kathleen. She says best hair on YouTube. Deanne Chilled Mating Tro. Hi, Deanne. Says
thank you.
Sheila has the best hair and that she watched your video earlier this morning and she loves your new glasses.
Oh,
I did see it. I haven't watched it yet. Vivian
I do have
says that you, Deanne, and myself have great hair.
Thank
Of course,
you.
no one could tell right now because I've got it up on a ponytail, but I have had occasion to pull it out and let my Leo lion mane. See, the funny thing is I don't have great hair because I haven't been a hairdresser in like 3 years because I don't leave the house because of the pandemic. That's a whole other story. Oh, okay. So Geek Hillbilly, I love it. Geek Hillbilly says, Sheila, it was 45 that turned around on you. I remember the video.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was 45 that I would remember him turning around and looking directly at me. I went, oh, well, we gotta go. But yeah, it could have been him.
Interesting. So, one of the other things that Sheila does that I think is absolutely amazing. I know that this is just briefly. I want to say, when you do those grand tableaus.
Yes.
Now, is that? I mean, I don't know anything about grand tableaus other than that's Lenormand, if I understand that correctly. And just real quick, if you could tell us, like, how long have you been doing that? And
oh, that was a strange one. How I came across that. That was years and years and years ago, right? And I came across these little cards, and I thought, oh, they are so cute, right? And I got them out, and I thought that I was gonna like read them like tarot cards. And I'm here shuffling, and all of a sudden I start laying them down, and like this doesn't feel like tarot cards to me.
Right.
Okay, and then I kept on looking at them. I felt this and I felt that about each one of them. Like, that's really weird. So then I did something that, most people don't, and I go read the directions. And all I read was the first part about that where, like, it showed me a picture where how you're supposed to lay it out, and then read the connections. I'm like, oh, all right. And that was all I read, and I put the thing away, and I put them all out, 9 across, 4 down, and I was amazed as anybody else was. I was reading and understood the connection to each one of those cards. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And so then I had to be brave enough, right, to put it into a video and put it out into the universe and do that. Now, I did try them with the Lenormand. Now, the Lenormand, people who read the Lenormand, I think they're brilliant people. They really have a really good memory of each card. Right. However, I want to change the meaning of each card. So I can't read the Lenormand because it is what it is, right? Yeah. And so this is the reason why I connect better with the Kipper cards. The mystical Kipper cards is because they're more for intuitive readers. Yeah. So that's what happened, and it was just like anything else that I've really have ever done in the metaphysical world. Is I tried it, and I understood it, and so it's not like I was gifted anything special. It's just when you know it, you can read it. Just like how palmistry, I could read palmistry like no other. I just know what it is, and that's kind of
come in Colorado. No.
Well, palmistry was interesting to me. As you can see, I don't have a lifeline. I have a head, I have a heart, but I do not have a lifeline. Right. And so palmistry was very, very fascinating to me because I wanted to know why I didn't have one. Right. So.
I love it. I watched a couple of palmistry videos on YouTube, and it's very difficult to watch a palmistry video and try to like find those lines on your own hand.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's done it, but I would find myself with every flashlight I could find in the house trying to like, where's that line? Counting the marriages on your hand over here.
And that information truly is just a guideline, to be honest with you, when you're reading palmistry. it truly is just a guideline, because intuitively you know better what that line means for that person when it's in front of
Right.
you.
Yeah. It was anyway, it was super interesting, but I was like clearly I can't do this to myself, because I was twisting my hand in all kinds of ways that shouldn't have been twisted. But anyway, the reason why I asked about the Grand Tableau is because, and I mean, everyone knows my story. I knew what an oracle card was, but I never had an oracle card before I started my channel in November. And, for months and months and months, I was like, I don't know how it's happening that people are, I'm talking and like I'm pulling out a card and they're saying that resonates. I don't know why that's happening. I have no idea. And Nancy Jean was kind enough to gift me a couple of lessons in tarot and in January, and I kept like, I don't know how it's happening, and then all of a sudden I just like, it's happening, so you need to own it. And so once I owned it, then like I don't question anymore, I just do it.
Correct.
But the Kipper cards, when I got the Kipper cards, because I was fascinated by the Kipper. I've watched Denise do Kipper, Marianne from Revealing Light do Kipper, and there's a couple of other people that I've seen use the Kippers, and it's just a new deck. And so I got the Kippers, and immediately it spoke to me, just like you're saying. And okay, Charlotte, everyone knows you're here, love. She wants everyone to say hi to her, and so I just started using the Kipper, and they really, really spoke to me. And it's interesting because I've watched, like I said, a few readers, and they all use the Kipper a different way.
Yeah.
Which I love, because then it's showing you that there is no right way, there is no wrong way. It's your way, like how it speaks to you, which I think is the best way to show someone how anyone can do it, whatever it may be for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Stand in your power and feel very confident of how you read your tarot cards your way.
Yes.
It's not like this is a universal gift that everybody has to follow the exact same rules in order for it to be right, wrong. That's a bunch of abusive hooey that this community can hand out. And if anybody's doing that, to politely tell them that that is not how we do things. So, because each and every tarot, if they do not have the ability to read a tarot card with their own way, then how are we ever going to explore and expand in this metaphysical life?
Right. True that. We have so many wonderful things going on in the chat here. So, Pierre White says that she notices that the lines in her hands change. Now, is that
they do?
They change.
Yep. Everybody's hands change. So what you read as a child, or what you read as a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old, your experiences will change the form and the formations of your hands in your palms. Absolutely.
Interesting. Marie Hansen says Becca House of Lenormand does great grand tableaus. Yes, absolutely.
She does. She's brilliant at it.
Yeah, it's so exciting when she sort of breaks out that pencil case and puts it down. You're like, ooh, we're in for a treat, right?
Yep.
I love that. So we're coming up to the end of the hour, and I don't know, do you have any cards out, Sheila? Would you like to maybe just pull a card for the collective? We could do that and say thank you to everyone for being here. And again, this is Celtic Sheila. Please do show our new friend to dzncats some support, some appreciation. Sweetheart, you're going to have to leave the desk because you are making a mess of Mommy's card. All right, go, sweetheart. Thank you. All right. This is, you know what? I want to make a blooper reel, of all the things that I've tried to do and the cats who jumped on the desk and so on and so forth. I would love to make a blooper reel and play it like at New Year's or something. And I want to inject about 20 minutes of card shuffling. Someone should make a song of card shuffling because it's so soothing. I find it very relaxing.
Oh, we have those who can't stand it. have those who enjoy it. We have those who are always in between. We have those who just, silence it while we're shuffling. I mean, it's a thing.
Well, I used to have a hairdresser many, many years ago that told me one time that the sound of a blow dryer made him fall asleep. And I was like, you probably should have told me that after you were finished cutting my hair, because I should be slightly concerned if you're cutting my hair and you hear a blow dryer in the room and it's just, you start to do this. I might have a
Right?
like that. But I think it's very soothing. So.
All right, I got mine.
All right. You may go first, my dear.
It says the win-win outcome is forecasted. The win-win outcome is forecasted for this either country, for anybody that is in there. It's the full moon in Libra is what I drew. Libra is a lot about justice. Whatever we think is happening, we have the system of justice, either through the universe, either through people, either through whatever. It's always balanced. And even though we as a human species love to produce our own justice, the truth is the universe is always the balancer in that justice.
I love that.
That's all I got.
I pulled from the Sacred Traveler Oracle by Denise Lynn. And I think that this sums up this chat perfectly. We have the Mystic Healer.
Healing energy. What does it say at the bottom?
Healing energy flows through you, which is exactly what you were saying about the love flowing through us and allowing that connection with spirit to just float on through, right?
Yes.
Picking up that love and that positive vibration. Beautiful. Sheila, I am so grateful for you spending your Sunday with us for a little bit of time. Thank you so kindly. Do you have anything that you would like to let anyone know, like anything coming up for you?
I have some collaborations that I have on my channel. I have I'm going to have Dave Johnson back, and I have Adam from astrology. I think I'm doing that. So there's a few collaborations, and if anybody hasn't seen the video on Dave Johnson's channel where he did a life regression with me,
it's on my playlist to watch.
It's just another aspect of what spirit can do for us. Is just totally amazing to me. So,
hi, Chrissy. Yep. Chrissy from Footprint Tarot is here.
Footprint. Is Chrissy from Footprint? She's a sweetheart. You have to get her on here.
I've had Chrissy. Actually, she popped on last Wednesday and joined me while I was live, but she came for a visit. She's just lovely.
Yes.
I want to say, so tomorrow on sorry, my mind has left me. Tomorrow on Circle of Friends Tarot, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Indigo Crystals, Heather will be our guest, and we're going to be doing a mystery night. So we're going to be going through the case of Marilyn Monroe. So I hope that you guys can join us for that. And I don't actually know what I'm doing this week. What can I tell you, friends? I usually always know what I'm doing. Today, I don't know. So that's the best that I've got. So Sheila, thank you so much. Thank you everyone in the chat for being here, for participating, for supporting, for showing love, doing what you all do. Oh, sorry. I'm reading all the things. So Chrissy says absolutely been snoring loudly for the last hour. Oh, that's her hubby's been snoring for the last hour. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Sheila, thank you again, my friend. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody.
Mwah! Bye, everyone.